Hi everyone, good afternoon and welcome to today's session. We'll be starting in just a few minutes. Today's session is on introduction to web scraping and we'll just wait for a few minutes for everyone to join and then we'll start. Okay, let's start. I think everyone has joined. Okay. First of all, I'd like to tell you about our community on Discord, which is free and you can experience this workshop and you can also access some free courses and resources that we have, which is absolutely free for all. And if after the session is over, we'll be sharing the link in the description. You can get the link from the description. We'll also be sharing it on the chat. And from there, you can join and you can access the resources. We have resources for Python, for full stack, and other data science, etc. And you can click on the link, join the server, and then you can access all the resources. So let's start today's session. Today's session is, like I said, a practical introduction to web scraping. So first of all, let's understand what is web scraping. Suppose you want some information from a website, let's say a paragraph on Virat Kohli. What do? You can simply copy paste manually to your text file, but that is feasible for small, like just one paragraph that you need, maybe two, maybe 10. That is feasible for that number. What if you need large amounts of information, right? Like suppose you need information related to all the players, active cricket players in the world from all the cricket teams. In such a situation, you cannot simply sit and copy from one Wikipedia page and then paste and then get your data that way. For such large amount of data, what we do is we use web scraping. So what is web scraping? Let's see in the definition of web scraping. Okay, so let's see what it says. Web scraping is an automatic method to obtain large amounts of data from websites, like we just described. Most of this data is unstructured data in an HTML format, which is then converted into structured data in a spreadsheet or database so that it can be used in various applications. Okay, so what does the definition say? Definition defines web scraping, and it is basically the solution to the problem that we were referring, that I just said. If you want to scrape like large amount of data about all the cricket players in the world, all from all the active cricket teams, right? So in this case, what you can do is you can scrape the data or you can get the data from a website, which would be ICC's website or Star Cricket website or some website like that. Okay. So most of this data is usually in an HTML format, which is unstructured. So it wouldn't be coming like, okay, one player one is this, two is this. It would be unstructured in the HTML, in the website in an HTML format. Okay. And also, if in sometimes, recently, in more modern websites, you could also get the data as a JSON response. Okay, so that is also possible. In that scenario, it is a bit structured than if you have to scrape or get the data from a HTML format. Okay, so let's see what are the ways in which we can perform web scraping to obtain the said data from websites. The first method includes online services, particular APIs, or even creating your code for web scraping from scratch. This is what we are going to do: create our own code for web scraping from scratch. This is what we are going to dive into. And also, many large websites like Google, Twitter, Facebook, Stack Overflow, etc., have APIs that allow you to access their data in a structured format. Like I said, in some website, when you access their API or the URL, you can access that data and you can get a response in JSON, which is more structured than a simple HTML web page. Okay. This is the best option, but there are other sites that don't allow users to access large amounts of data in a structured form, or like I said, in JSON. Or they are simply not that technologically advanced, like I said just a few seconds ago. In that situation, it is best to use web scraping to scrape the website for data. Okay, so I think the basics are covered in this. Let's go ahead. So, okay, now we know what web scraping is, right? So, what are the scenarios, like the real world scenarios where web scraping could be used? So, first of all, it can be used for like price monitoring. Web scraping can be used for companies to scrape the product data for their products and competing products to see how it impacts their pricing strategies. Companies can use this data to fix the optimal pricing for their products so that they can obtain maximum revenue. So let's what this scenario says is, if suppose there is one company, you're owning a company, you want to check how your competitors are, setting the price, how the price fluctuation is happening, and based on that, you want to establish your own pricing strategies uh, to compete with your competitors. That is one case. If you want to if we can go a bit simpler, that would be a better example. So for example, you might have seen some price trackers, like for a product, you on Amazon, there are some extensions on Chrome on which you can place the product which you want to buy, or some websites where you can enter the product which you want to buy, and you can see the price, their price, how it has been fluctuating for past n number of months, say 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. So how is that achieved? Most of the times that is achieved by scraping the data for the website and keeping the price in a database and then seeing how it fluctuates. Okay. So next is market research. Web scraping can be used for market research by companies. High quality web scrape data obtained in large volumes can be very helpful for companies in analyzing customer trends and understanding which direction the company should move in future. Is like for this example, suppose that you have a company, right? So if you are launching, let's say, a beauty product, like launching a beauty company which is into beauty products, like various beauty products that are there, lipsticks, foundations, etc., etc. And if you want to check which uh, you can scrape websites like Flipkart, Amazon, Nika, and check what like for different areas you can set different locations and then scrape the data to check what is the most sold product in a particular demographic, what is the price range of that product, and then you can launch your products with that understanding. Okay, this demographic or this geographical area buys this product, X product in, and the price ranges from A to B. So you can set that and you can launch accordingly. So that is market research. News monitoring. Web scraping news sites can provide detailed reports on current news to a company. This is even more essential for companies that are frequently in news or that depend on daily news for their day to day functioning. After all, news reports can make or break a company in a single day. So, this example, in simpler words, what happens is basically you write scripts. Suppose I am a company, okay, and I want to check, say, Times of India or the Hindu or Quint or various other news agencies that publish news online. So every day I would write, suppose a script, web scraping script, and I would check if my company's name or my company's employee's name are been mentioned on these news sites, and if it is, I would have the script email me or send some form of notification. Okay, so this is about news monitoring. Another one is sentiment analysis. So in sentiment analysis, if company wants to understand the general sentiment for their products among their consumers, then sentiment analysis is a must. Companies use web scraping to collect data from social media websites such as Facebook and Twitter as to what the general sentiment about their product is. This will help them create products that people desire and move ahead of their competition. So, like the previous example I said, if you're launching some company like a beauty company, for instance, okay, okay, the price, the geography where what product is sold the most, and you can sell accordingly. Once you have sold the product, you need to know, okay, what people are talking about, like what are they talking about, in what tone, and are they happy with the product. So for these, you can scrape websites where you're selling, like you have, suppose if you're selling on Amazon as a seller, you have selling on Flipkart or Nika, or or even Twitter for that matter. You can have scripts wherein, if you are on websites like Amazon or any e-commerce website you're selling there, you can scrape the reviews of people. You can store that data, then apply some algorithms which shows what the sentiment of the review says. Okay, so that is one way you can do it. Other way is, again, you can scrape Twitter using your company's name as an hashtag, then or your product's name, and then you can, using the same algorithm or some machine learning algorithms, you can get these base sentiment of that comment, if it is positive, if it is negative, and if it is neutral. So you can have an analysis of what people are saying about your product. Is it going well? Are people happy with it? So that is one way you can go about it. Another is email marketing. So this is one of the most widely used use cases that was seen initially for web scraping. Company can also use web scraping for email marketing. They can collect email IDs from various sites using web scraping and then send bulk promotional and marketing emails to all the people owning these email IDs. So what happens here is, suppose if I say I am a we continue with the beauty company example, right? So I have a beauty company related to beauty products, and I want to market them to some let's say big people in beauty industry. So what I would do is I would write a script wherein I can get the people in beauty industry, the big names in the beauty industry, or in general people in beauty industry, using sites like LinkedIn. So I would perform a search using the script, then scrape that list, get all the names and the email IDs, and then write a script to shoot an email to those email IDs. So that is how you go about this example, the email marketing example. There are many other use cases, but in general, if you see, in general, in all these, five: price monitoring, market research, news monitoring, sentiment analysis, or email marketing, The general core of web scraping is you are going to a website, you are getting some data that is in unstructured or structured format, and then you are saving it. That is the core of web scraping. After that, you can, perform or use it for email marketing or some market research you want to perform on it, price monitoring, news monitoring, whatever the logic is, that comes after. First, the basic is you scrape the website, you get the, you pass the HTML if it is an HTML format, and then you get the required driver logic to get the required data. And after that, the main business logic comes. Okay. So let's move forward. So what are the important concepts to know for web scraping? What are the things that you should know? Like you are like, okay, I understand what is web scraping. I understand what are the, use cases. So how do I go about it? What all should I know to write a web scraping script? So first of all, you should have a basic idea about HTML tags, ID classes, and also about JSON. So you should, for why is this important? This is important because you're going to scrape HTML web pages, and from there you have to get the data. Okay, so you should know what HTML looks like. What does, the basic concept? What does it mean? What does title mean? Body tags. You should know the basics at least. And also you should know about what JSON data type is and how you can manipulate it in Python. Okay. Another thing is the inspect option in browsers. So whenever you go to your browser, if you're watching it now, go to some website like Wikipedia, press Control Shift Enter, and Control Shift I, I'm sorry. Or if you're on Mac, I guess it is Command Shift and I. And then you can see inspect element bar. I'll show it to you in the practical section so it is more clear. What happens there is you can see all the network calls or the API calls, or going more basic, or the URLs that is being the URL that you access. And there you can see what is the request that goes there, what are the parameters that are required, so on and so forth. So that this is important for that. And the two libraries that we would be covering as basics for web scraping in this section is Beautiful Soup and Request Library. Okay, so these two are the basic libraries that you should know while starting out web scraping using Python. Okay, after that there are libraries like Scrapy that writes spiders, then Selenium that you can use to perform some action to get some data. So that is a bit more intermediate and advanced stuff. So right today, we are just looking at the introduction. So let's see the basics, let's build the foundation, and maybe later on we can have sessions on those two libraries, which will help you perform the intermediate and advanced stuff. Okay, I've also mentioned the link to these libraries on this PPT, which would be shared with you on the Discord server that I mentioned at the start of the session. Okay, so don't worry about that. That would be shared. Request. So let's see first what request is. Like let's go step by step. So request is important first because what are you how are you going to get the web page and the data inside it? What is the basic first step, right? Whenever you go to a website, you request that URL to give me the data, whatever is associated with this, right? So that is what this library does. It helps us to perform requests to a URL. We can pass the URL to the functions that this library provides, like the get function. We can just provide the URL which we want to access, and the response is provided as an object. And on that response object, we have various attributes and functions that let us access different parts of the web page, such as status code. What was the status code? Suppose if we perform a request, we have the response object. We can check if the status code was 200, which is okay, or it was 404, page not found, and so on and so forth. Based on that, we can have some conditions that, okay, if it is 200, only then go forward. Or if it is not 200, then do not execute the further code. So that is how we can build upon it. So this is one of the first and most important library that we should know about. I have mentioned the link in the PPT for this request documentation. It is written in very easy words, and you can digest the content that is there easily. And there are also some examples in practical. But if you want to go in more depth, I have mentioned the documentation links. Okay. The next library is Beautiful Soup. So, okay, we have performed the request. We got everything, the response object. We have the web page data in the response object. So how do we get the data from inside that HTML? So for that, we have Beautiful Soup. This is a library that allows us to parse and extract data from HTML or XML documents. We can use Beautiful Soup to create a soup object from the content of the web page using Beautiful Soup function. So this we will see in the practical. I have a code, I have a live example that I will run, and I'll show you how how this Beautiful Soup creates a soup object and how we access the content of the web page from that. The soup object has various methods and properties that let us navigate and manipulate the HTML tree structure of the web page, such as find all, and get text. Okay, and there are many more. For this library too, I have mentioned the documentation link. Trust me, it is very easy to digest the documentation for these two libraries. It is written in very simple language with example. So if you want to dive deeper into it, you can check those links, and you can access the documentation and read them. Okay, so now the theory is done. Now we'll see everything in practical and how everything comes together in the practical part. Okay, so what were the important concepts that I said to know for web scraping? It was HTML and basic HTML tags, the structure of HTML, and the inspect option in browser. So I'll show you where this comes into play while web scraping. Okay. So we will be, just a minute. We would be scraping a web page which was created to practice web scraping, so that while practicing you are not blocked, or you don't have you are not able to access the website. So to avoid that, we have this website called bookstoscrape.com, wherein you can practice on this web page how to get data using web scraping. Okay. So first of all, why did I mention in my slide that HTML is one of the things you should know? Okay, because just a minute. Okay, because what happens is, if you want, okay, if you want to get all the book names from this website, okay, all the book names. So this is one page, and there are many pages in this website. Let me show you. You see, there are many pages in this website. There are 50 pages to be precise. And if you want all the 50 pages, you want the book name, you want the price. So our manual way of doing it, copying it and then pasting it, it is a bit hectic if you do it. See, if you do this, you're not able to get the complete name, then you have to do this. You have to copy it and probably paste it into an Excel sheet. And you would do that for how many? Like there are 10 books over here and there are 50 pages. So 500 products you'll copy and paste. So that is not, uh, that is not practical. So 20 products are here, sorry, and 50 pages, that would be total 1000 results. So that is not practical or feasible for you to do. Okay. So we will use web scraping over here. So how do we go about it? So what I said is you should know the HTML and inspect element. So how do you do that? Whenever you come to a page, what you do is you press Control Shift I, or you can right click and you can go to this inspect. Okay. Once you go to the inspect, you'll see the elements over here. You have network tab, you have elements tab. So what you do is you can go to the network tab and then visit this link again. So once you click here, you see, okay, books to scrape. You have this. You can click on this to see what the response is. So I'll expand this. So as you can see here, the response is in HTML. So we'll have to scrape this web page, which is in HTML, and the data is a bit unstructured. Okay. So what do we do next? So the response is in HTML, means when we hit this link, when we hit this API, this is what is sent back, the HTML to this page. Okay, this page that you are seeing. So how do we know, how to get the name from here, or the link of the book, or the required data, the price of the book? So what you can do is you can just click over here, this thing, select an element in the page to inspect it, or you can press Control Shift C. Okay, if you press over here, let's say if you want to find you want to find all the books, right? So what we'll do is we'll check, okay, where are the books located? There's a section. Okay, let's go in, let's see what all is there. Alert, okay, we don't need this. So what this div? So in div we have OL class row, which has all the books inside a li tag. So this is why I said you need to know the basics of HTML. So OL would be ordered list. Inside that we have li, the list elements. Okay. Inside that we have all the details. So there's this article class. Okay. So inside this div we have the image. We can get the image from a tag. Okay. Similarly, if we want the name, it is inside an h3 tag. Okay. So the name, if you see, again, the name, if you see, it is a light in the ... but the whole name is present in this a tag. A tag's title, a light in the attic. Okay. So we know where the name is, we know where the price is. And if you want to check, suppose where is it in stock or not. So if you go inside here, we have in stock availability for P, and inside that we have in stock text. So if this is the text, it means the book is in stock. Okay. So this is this is like detective work that you have to do based on what details you want to fetch. Okay. So in this site, suppose if you want to fetch the price and the title, I've shown you how to go about it. You go to elements and then you click on this, or press Control Shift C, and then you go to the thing that you want to find, like suppose this thing. So this is the title of the book. So it is inside an H3. So that is the reason I mentioned that you should know basic HTML and this part, the Control Shift I, this inspect part. So you should know how to access this. The most important things from this for us is network, and to check what is the link which is being accessed when we go to this page. We can do that by pasting the link, and hitting enter. So I'll show you. You can clear everything, all the calls. I'll show you again. You have the link, you press enter, then you see over here, bookstoscrape.com. So what we are accessing, bookstoscrape.com. So we can click on that and then we see the response. Okay, so the response is in HTML. So if you want to check if there is some extra payload that is being sent in the request, we can come here and then we can check the request headers. And is there any payload that is being sent? No, these are the common things that would be sent with the request. So what we do is we get the request URL, we take this and we check what is the method that is being used. Okay, it is a get method. Cool. So now we'll move on to how we go about writing the script to scrape the books and the details from this page. Okay, I'll open the script and I'll explain it to you. Okay, so first, before writing the script, the two packages that libraries that I talked about were Beautiful Soup and Request. So we need to install those two things before we start. So how do we install that? We go to our terminal or command prompt or terminal or command prompt. We do pip install requests. Since I already have it, it would show dependency already satisfied, requirement already satisfied, sorry. And then we have to do pip install Beautiful Soup 4. Pip install Beautiful Soup 4. I've already installed this. So again, it would be requirement satisfied. Okay. In your case, if it is not installed, it will take some time, like a few seconds. And after it is installed, you can then move on to your code. So first of all, for timing, let us ignore this import CSV. First of all, what the two important libraries that I talked about, right? See, we are importing those two things. We are importing request. This is how you import request into a Python script. And then after that, how to import the Beautiful Soup? It would be from BS4 import Beautiful Soup. Okay. So this is available in the documentation too. If in case you are like, okay, I would not remember it. How do I remember it? You don't need to. You can check the documentation. This would be there. And over time with practice, you remember these two imports. Okay. So after that, base URL. So this is what is the link that you want to scrape, right? We just saw, I'll show you again. This is the link that we want to scrape, right? So we will copy this and we will save it in a variable like base URL. Okay. Let's skip this CSV part just for 5 minutes. I'll explain the rest, request and Beautiful Soup related part. Then we can come back to the CSV part. Okay. So see, request library is as easy as this. First, you have to import it, and then you can just go request.get. Why are we using get over here? So for any request, you can have methods like get, post, put, delete, right? So to get the data from any website, what would be the call that we would be making? It would be get call. But still, to be sure, we can check in the headers, the same place we got our URL, which we have to request, the method that you have to request. You can see here, right? Request method get. So we would use the get function. And what all do you have to pass in the get function? You have to pass the URL. Okay. So there are various things that you can pass into the get function. So this is the documentation that I was talking about. Okay. If you see the request documentation, see, we are importing, then we are performing the get request. You can also perform the post request. You can send some data with the post request. Okay. Delete another request. And you can see how the documentation is very easy to access, how to, access JSON response, how to treat it, how to access raw response. Everything is available over here. And if you want to pass on headers, how do you pass that? Everything is over here. So for us right now, we don't need to pass any headers. So that's why we're just passing the URL. What is home URL? The URL that we want to scrape. Okay. So first we put that dot text. Why do we do this? Dot text. This provides all the HTML from the web page, and it gets that as a text and stores it into first response. Okay. So like we saw in the slide, it said that after getting the web page content, we can make it into a soup object using beautiful soup function, right? So this would be here, this point. We can we can use beautiful soup to create a soup object from the content of the web page using beautiful soup function. So we are doing that over here. Soup equal to beautiful soup. You can this variable name can be anything, but usually we use it as soup, or you can use it as base soup if it is the first web page that you are extracting accordingly. Okay, whatever name you want to give, but soup is the convention that we use. Equal to beautiful soup. What are the parameters that we pass to it? It would be first response, the response that we got for our web page, which we converted into text, and then to parse the response, or to pass. What is pass? You can pass the response into this variable, and then access the HTML elements. We use this. So we generally use HTML parser. There are other types of parsers, and the difference between them and the benefits, they are mentioned in the Beautiful Soup documentation. You can go ahead and you can refer them if you want to, but usually we use HTML.parser for basic scraping for such pages. So now we have this soup. Okay, so this soup, it contains the entire HTML for this page. This, you see, where's the elements? So this HTML, the entire HTML, this soup, it contains that. Okay. And inside that, like we saw, right? If you want to get all the books, where is it located? Inside div, we have this, we don't want this. See, it is located inside an OL tag, right? So what we do is, what we are doing here is OL underscore soup, this is a variable name, soup, this soup, dot find. See, we said over here, right, in our theory, the soup object has various methods and properties that let us navigate, such as find all, and get text. Okay, so we are using that find. Like the name suggests, dot find is basically saying the first parameter is which HTML element or tag you want to find, right? And from, so if we search for OL tag, okay, there might be n number of OL tags. So what is the identifier that we can use over here? OL tag which has class row. So that is just one. There is no other which is present. If you have ID present, that would be the best case scenario. But here we have class present. And also this is the only OL tag with class as row. So we can use that. So what would be doing here is soup.find. So this means basically what this line of code means is, from soup, please get me the OL tag which and its content which has attribute as which attribute do we want, which has class as row. Okay, if it were ID, you can do attribute attrs ID equal to suppose 1. Okay, so you can do that way. Okay, now we have all everything inside just the OL soup. So inside this, what is inside this? Li. So inside each Li, we have our books detail. Okay. I have not mentioned it over here, but after each soup, what we can do is we can just write a check if it is found or not. So if not soup. If the soup is not found, maybe we can just print soup not found for base web page. Something like that. Okay. You can log it, but since it is a basic example, I'm just printing it on the screen. And similarly, if not OL soup, then print this and you can exit the code. Okay. So we can do that. You can write those checks. Maybe you can do it as an homework. Yeah. You can try it on your own. But that is something important that you should mention, because if suppose for some reason this soup is not able to find get the response, right? We can also check over here that if first response dot status code, like I told while explaining the PPT, if it is not equal to 200, okay, then we can exit from here itself, so that you don't have to run all of this and there is a error in all of this. If it is not 200, which is that is not 200, or in this case when we were visiting the website, what was the status code? 304. 200 or 304, you can write it like that, or you can just check if the similar to soup, if not first underscore resp. So if it is empty, that is what we are checking. We can print that we were not able to get the web page, and then you exit the code. Okay. Or continue, or whatever the logic suffices, like for the situation is. So we were here, we got all the tags. So there was only one OL tag, so we got just one OL tag, and inside that we got all the li tags that are there. So to find all the li tags from the OL soup, okay, what we can use is find all. So this line of code says find me all the article tag. So inside li, if you check, there's this tag called article. I'll show you. See this article. So we can check directly for this. Okay. Find all the tags that are article and has attribute. What is the attribute? And has class product pod underscore pod. Okay. So if we check over here, it is product underscore pod. So now we have this box, the blue box you can see, which is highlighted. We have this in our code. Okay. So now we are initializing a variable which is count equal to 0. This is used for the CSV part. I'll explain it later on. First, let's just cover the beautiful soup part. So now since we have in li soup all the article, okay, all the tags that are article. So this is inside this li soup, we have a list of all the tags that are article. Okay, so we will iterate over it using a for loop. So for this name can be anything, the variable name li in li soup. What we can do now is, okay, so this line of code, what we are doing, we are storing in pictures link suffix. So if we check, if you want this pictures link, right? So if we check that, what do we have here? We have the link, but it is incomplete, right? It says media / cache, whatever it is. Okay. So before that, what is required? bookstoscrape.com. And after that, media cache, this is the part we are getting from the web page. So how do we go about it? How we construct this entire the full link? So what we do is we check first. We checked over here. Okay, in li tag, what is there? There's a tag. Okay, with class thumbnail, or directly we can go to img tag, which is there. Since inside this li, there is no other img tag. We can just select the img tag which is available. So what we are doing in this line of code, li dot find img. Okay, so this we did previously, right? Li dot find the element name. So what does this line of this particular highlighted code means? From this li object, just find me the img tag of HTML. Okay, till this it is clear. We saw it previously too. We had find over here for OL similar to that. But now what is this bracket, square bracket SRC? So to access the SRC link, this link which is there, or if you wanted to access ALT, okay, you can use this format. You'll find that, and inside that, you can find this particular attribute SRC, or if you wanted, you can put in ALT and you would get a light in the attic. Okay. And what we have here is basically if and else condition wherein we are checking if li.find img and li.find img src else none. So what does this say is if we are able to we extract this src, which is this link, okay, only if we are able to find some tag img tag inside li. If we find this, and inside that img we have an src. So this is basically we are trying to execute the code by avoiding any error in case there is no tag available. Okay, so this is how we can do it. And inside this, what we have is pictures link base URL plus pictures link suffix. So base URL is this, we have stored it, and the pictures link suffix is the URL which we find over here. Okay, so we have extracted that, we have just concatenated it to become the whole link, like the entire link, complete link. Similarly, we are finding the h3 tag for heading, and same if else condition, if the tag is present, else none. Same with the book title. Within the heading tag, we are trying to find the A tag inside which the title is there. So for that, we can check like this. Okay, h3 tag, inside that we have the A tag from which we want the title. So hence we are using the square bracket thing, right? And for price, we have the same thing, but the difference is we are finding the tag and then attribute which has class price color. And from that, we are extracting the text. Dot text means get the text, and dot strip removes any trailing and preceding blank spaces. Okay, and same condition, if we can find that tag and that tag has a text, only then we will store this tag's value, this value, inside the book price thing, book price variable. Same for book availability. It would be true if we can find a p tag with attribute stock in availability and it has a text and the text is equal to in stock, like we saw in the earlier part of the video. Okay, so now this CSV writer, what is this thing? So like I said, you can store it into various things. You can store it into an Excel file, you can store it into a CSV file, and you can store it into a text file, whatever you want, right? So here we are just gathering all the details and storing it into a CSV file. CSV file is comma separated values. In that file, the values which we store are separated by a comma. I'll show you the output and then it would be clear. Okay. So how do we put it into a CSV file? So basically what we do is, first of all, we import the CSV, import CSV. Okay. Then we open a CSV file, which is like opening any other file, open name.csv and then write. Okay. CSV writer is equal to csv.writer CSV file. So to write into this CSV file, we use this csv.writer. Okay, and within that, what does this function do? Write row, right? So we pass an array of string. So these would be the title, like the first row we have, right? Title, serial number, book title, book price, and book availability. Okay, this would be the title of your CSV file. And at the end, after here, okay, so what we are doing is CSV writer dot write row. So for each row, like imagine it like an Excel sheet, okay? So first we had the header. Now in each row, we are writing the respective detail. So this detail, you should map it according to what the title is over here: serial number, book title, book price, and book availability. So similarly, what you have here is count, book title, book price, and book availability. Okay. And I'll run this script. I have printed what the details would be, and also I have written it into a CSV file. Now, how to run this script? Okay. So what you can do is you can go to the file location inside the directory where the file is. So my file is inside watchmate. Okay. So I do ls just to check. Okay, web scraping demo.py. You have it over here. So you can just do Python web scraping demo.py. Okay, and if you are on Linux, Ubuntu, or any other terminal, you can do Python. If that does not work, maybe use Python 3. Okay, and we can do this and just press enter, and the code will run. Okay, so here we have the output from the code. So what is this part? This is what we are printing, this one. Okay, so picture link, book title, book price, and book availability. See the picture link, we have the complete link. If we open this link, control and press, see, we have the link to this picture. Okay, where were we? Yeah, we have the name, a light in the attic, the price. Don't worry about this. When we are storing it in CSV, it does not show like this. I don't know why it is showing like this in Command Prompt. So we have the price 51.77. Let's double check. Yes, 51.77. Book availability true, in stock. So it is true. Okay. So we have done this. Let's check the file, CSV file that was talking about, right? So what was the file name over here that we wanted to create? Book records.csv. So you can see over here, book records.csv. See, like I said, this is the header, SR number, book title. See this part, this line. This puts in the header, and right row, this part that writes these rows one by one. Okay. See this thing is not present in the CSV file. So like this, I've scraped just the first page, which has 20 products. For you, as an homework, I would like you to check. I'll give you an hint. I'd like you to still check and try and execute. How would you get all the pages? Okay, I'll give you an hint. Suppose check the link over here. Okay, when I click next, check the link over here. What happens? See this link? Notice some changes. Rest all of it is same. If you see the HTML structure, that would be the same. You can check that by using this. The OL class row, LI, inside that you have an LI, inside that you have an article with class product pod. So all rest of the code would work. You just have to make changes to accommodate the network call that has been made for this link. I'll give you the steps. You can go here. Okay. You can check what is the link. You can check what is the method. You can check the response. It is HTML. And now like I explained in this video, you can check this video again and just try and implement this for rest of the pages. So how many pages are there? 50 pages. So I've given you a hint. Look at the URL over here. And by that, you should get an idea of how to do this. Okay. So that was it, guys. That was the practical part of the session today. I will provide you with this code on the Discord server. Okay, you don't need to worry about that. All the links are mentioned in the PPT. I would also share a Notion file that I have, which also contains this all the content and the theory part from the PPT. It also contains this code. Okay, I'll share that too, and it also contains the link to the libraries. Okay, so now if you practice web scraping, you get really good at it. What are the benefits in it for you? So as a beginner, as a fresher, when you're coming out, most of everyone is targeting into backend development, full stack, this and that. So this is one skill that you can have with you, so that you can apply to the openings that are available in the market for a web scraping engineer or a web crawling engineer. After practicing this beautiful soup and request, maybe you can move on to Scrapey, then Selenium, and how it works. Write 2 to 3 scripts, and then when you have confidence, you can apply for web scraping or web crawling jobs. There are a lot of jobs on it in the market. You can check, especially for freshers too. And there are also some remote jobs that are available. So you can check on Indeed, LinkedIn, whatever the site you can for job search that you use. Type in web crawling engineer or web scraping, or simply type in beautiful soap. Maybe you will get a hit, and then you can see the amount of jobs that are available over there. Okay. And in case you have any doubts, I'll show you where to reach me. So that is it, guys, for the session. Thank you. You can join the Discord channel. That is, the link will be provided in the description of this video. And also, I guess it is provided in the chat when the video started. You can use that link and you can join the Discord channel. Where you have to join is this Nestria channel. You will be landing here. Where you have to go after that is, you can go to Nestria, join a topic. Okay. You can go over here. There are some channels which are made already available to you. If it is not visible, you can check this index which says, okay, this sign is for Python. So if you are interested in Python related content and Python related courses, free course to the course that we are studying over here, or we are providing, that Byte Academy is providing, then you can click on this. If you want to know about JavaScript, then you can click on this. And for free course, the full stack course that we have, you can click on this. You can check the index, click on the things you are interested in, and then access all the resources that is freely available. Guys, there are a lot of resources. I myself am posting a lot of resources. You can see here there are resources like this. You have codes, you have screenshots, a lot of things. So if you join this channel, Discord channel, or you can text me on Discord using this ID. Okay. If you have, in case you have any doubts, you can reach out to me over there. If you want to talk about web scraping, you can also reach out to me on LinkedIn. The name is Karan Sharma. Thank you, guys. That would be all for today's session. And I hope you have a great day ahead and you enjoy web scraping. And if you have any doubts, please reach out to me. Thank you.